He's 19 years old and can't fix a transformer yet.
It's hard, bro. I don't know what to do.
Oh. What you doing over there, Anthony?
I'm transforming the transformer.
Make it have a dick. Oh, it already does.
It's not ready.
We gotta bleep that out too.
I think so.
I was about to say the F word too.
No cursing.
Anyway.
So today's video is a little bit differently. I think today I brought a very special guest, No L's Saavedra, because he is a very vital person to this story, as most of this part of the story has to do with him. So where did prom start off to? We
gotta start at the send-offs. We didn't have a send-off, but our friend Felix had a send-off.
Was it Felix or was it our friend? Oh no, he did have a send-off. I remember. Okay.
Yeah. We all went, took some pictures with his family.
I have some of the pictures.
Yeah, actually those were all really good pictures.
Yeah, they were really good. That was probably one of the only moments. It was
me, him, Felix, the other guy who we didn't say his name. What was his fake name?
The guy Steve Rogers, the guy that ran away from me from the little promposal we had set up for that girl that I wanted to ask. He was one of the people that also went to prom with us. And it's important to mention that he was the one that wanted to go to prom the most out of all of us.
Yeah, I didn't even want to go.
Exactly. None of us really wanted to go. But he was like pressuring all of us into going to prom. Like that was his main thing. He wanted us to go to prom, and you're going to see how that ended up for him.
To be completely honest, the only reason I went to prom is because I had a free ticket. So we'll start there at the send-off. But that was really quick. We just got the whole group together, and then we went in Felix's car, right?
Yeah.
We all got in his car, and we went to our other friend's house, Jelani, who's my video editor actually. And then he had his send-off with all of us. We waited for another guy to come. Took a bunch of pictures, you know, whatever a send-off usually is. And then we got in two separate cars. We go outside and it starts hailing. Like gigantic balls of ice just start falling everywhere.
It was pretty weird that it started hailing out of nowhere, especially considering that it was already June. We live in Chicago, and by June the sun is supposed to be shining at your face already. And literally the moment we step out of the house from our friend's send-off, it starts hailing, and we're just left there like
what? We had to park actually, and I remember that we had to wait for a little bit because the roads were really flooded. So I think we waited for like 30 minutes and then we left again.
They were really flooded, right?
Yeah. And then we got to prom. I remember we got lost on the way there too, because it was like underground parking or something.
Where was prom?
It was at this building downtown Chicago.
It was downtown Chicago, but where was prom? What I do remember was that the building was so high up. It was like on the 80th floor, and we went up there so fast you actually lost brain functionality for like a split second because the elevator just shot up. Like we literally went from floor 1 to 80 in less than 3 seconds. Not even joking. We had to have, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
We're like at the very top, and it's also really cold in here. Prom itself, like the actual prom, was probably the most boring thing ever out of my entire senior year. At least I thought so. I don't know about you. It was basically we just got there.
No, it was worse because none of us had dates.
Oh,
like that's the thing. Like all of us went in there without dates, so we weren't expecting much.
So I didn't have a date because the girl that I was talking to, it just didn't work out, and I didn't really want to take anyone else.
And you guys already know why I don't have a date.
But my story is pretty much the same as his. And then I was talking to another girl. Yeah, it was this other girl. What do we call her?
She may or may not look like an actress called Mia Khalifa.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna call her that.
If you went to Limblom and you're watching this, you probably know exactly what we're talking about. I was talking to her at the moment, but then I said yes to go to prom with her, and we already had the outfits matched up.
She was wearing the most beautiful red dress in the world.
And I wanted to wear red either way, but it's gonna make sense right now. But then who was like my childhood best friend, also asked me to prom, and I said yes to both of them. I never told them that I said yes to both of them. I had to lie back and forth. But now you two know that I did say yes to both. Eventually, they got in a little fight argument, whatever.
And I was left fateless.
So basically, what ended up happening is both of us had 2 different girls that we wanted to go to prom with, and we ended up going with none of them.
Eventually, I think Steve Rogers just convinced me to go to prom because everyone was going. I'm like, all right, whatever.
My mom paid for my prom ticket, and that pretty much confirmed that everybody else was going.
My mom just wanted to see me in a suit. Which, by the way, I really did. Actually, I really like my prom outfit.
Expensive though.
I had it right here, right now.
Nice.
So we show up to prom, and I'm wearing red because.
That's my favorite color. I was wearing black, red, and gold.
But I got a date at prom. She just so happened to be wearing red. I was wearing red. She came up to me, little chit chat, all flirtatious, took pictures.
It was that girl, Mia Khalifa.
Mia Khalifa was flirting with me at prom, and I'm like, I don't want to be mean. I'm like, I'll just have a date, whatever. We don't know what happens after prom. Why not? It's funny, both of those girls are actually texting me right now.
That's awesome. There was this one girl that I sort of had like an on and off relationship with. I'm not gonna get too much into detail with that, but she went to prom with her ex-boyfriend, and what ended up happening at prom was he was just going around dancing with a whole bunch of random girls, and she was just left there like sitting at one of the tables, just like, you know, by herself, all lonely. And so I decided that I wasn't gonna be alone at prom either, because this guy already has a date. And I went up to her and I just told her, you know what? We're going to dance. And so I ended up dancing with my date. He ended up doing whatever stuff with his date. And our friend Steve Rogers, the guy that wanted to go to the prom the most from all of us in the group. It was like a total of 6 or 7 of us, right? That like went to prom basically together. He was the only one that didn't enjoy himself. The rest of us, I mean, we were like, okay, all right, whatever. It was prom. It wasn't what we expected when we were probably freshmen, but I mean, it went better than expected, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it was the end of the year. I was like, I'm not gonna hold anything back.
Exactly. Like
we only didn't have prom days. Not because we were losers. Cause we were not losers at all. We just really just didn't want any of the girls. So it was like,
Yeah, you know, it just didn't work.
I think one good thing to bring up too that kind of made prom worse was the fact that we were both on diets at the time.
oh, we were on keto.
Don't try the ketogenic diet. It sucks, and there's a 50% chance you might die. But you know, other than that, there's nothing really wrong with it.
I'm actually really proud that we stuck to it even at prom, at graduation. I didn't want to stop it at all. Like,
it was really hard. I specifically remember halfway through prom, they have all this food. Just imagine, this is prom, all right? And just imagine all of the food that they have there. And we're stuck eating patties, sausages, and like half of a burger bun. Because when you're on a ketogenic diet, for those of you that don't know, you're not allowed to eat carbs.
everything is carbs.
And
pretty much.
everything is carbs.
I
So,
had
like,
ever so slight amount of cheese because cheese is mostly fats.
prom pretty much goes by, and I don't know, did we even stay the whole time? Did we stay until prom ended, or did we leave early? I feel like we left like around 11, didn't we?
I think we left on. I don't. See, the actual dance itself, it's kind of not in my head so much. I didn't really care. I just remember we took a bunch of pictures.
We did take a lot of pictures, but I'm pretty sure we left early because like we didn't really want to be there anymore.
I really didn't. I did not want to be there.
So right after prom, right after we decided to leave, I remember now, we left prom because Buffalo Wild Wings closed at 12, didn't it? At midnight, or did it close at 1 in the morning?
Closed at 1.
Closed at 1 in the morning. Prom hadn't ended yet, but we just decided to leave because we were like, you know, I mean, okay, we experienced prom. It wasn't that big as we expected it to be. So we just left because we were hungry. And Buffalo Wild Wings, if you've never eaten there, it's open until like 1 or 2 in the morning. So that's exactly where we headed to. And we still stuck to the diet because wings are meat. And if you eat them without
the breading, we got
yeah.
the naked ones.
If you eat them without the breading, you're fine. You can eat as many as you want. So, and blue cheese, very tiny amount of carbs. So we enjoyed
No
ourselves.
fries, I got
Exactly.
the veggies.
Now, the story's not over with his friend, Mia Khalifa. This guy had been texting her all night, and it looked like something was gonna go on. Us, being the very good friends, we told him that we would drive him to the hotel where she was staying.
I actually didn't really care about it so much.
He cared.
It was actually them. They were like, come on, we gotta get you laid. I'm like,
We're trying to get this guy laid, and so we drive over to the hotel where she and a couple of her friends are staying, and we kind of peer pressure him into going inside and having a conversation with her. And so that's exactly what he does. He goes inside the hotel, and we're just walking around the hotel. That's exactly what we were doing. We were walking around the hotel the entire time, waiting for the conversation to end.
I go upstairs, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just spend the night here. But now, I get upstairs, and I hear some fat lady just screaming like, we can't let him in unless his friends are cute. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought she was alone. I thought it was just her like best friends. I'm like, obviously her best friends are gonna want her to get laid too.
Mia had a friend who wanted to get laid as well, I guess.
By one of my homies. But bro, that was a fat bitch. No offense or whatever, take it the way you want it, but you can't say like, are your homies cute and expect them to be like 10 out of 10s if you look like that. I'm just saying, you gotta be realistic with yourself too. I go inside, we're in the hallway making out, doing whatever, you know.
No, they're just having a conversation.
We're just having a conversation. So we get to the door, and then they come up the elevator, because I go get them.
Did we go inside?
You guys did go upstairs.
We did go inside. I also have a picture of that.
And so the lady is just yelling at us, talking about, I can't get in. And then me and the girl are just like, in our minds, we're thinking the same thing. Like, we just want to do it. That's it. But, you know, she came outside with me. We just made out more. But I didn't really want to make out. I just wanted to
have a deeper conversation.
Yo.
So, you know, it was kind of a disappointment. He decided to come back, and he said that he didn't really get the action that he wanted because of the insane amount of block. And we just decided to go home because there was nothing left to do. We decided to go home, and the only way to go home was through the expressway because we were really far away. We were past downtown Chicago. So if you don't know, like, there's south of Chicago, then there's east, west, and north, and then the middle is downtown Chicago. We lived way south of Chicago.
And we were way north. So the only way to get back, fast at least, was through the expressway. And it's about 2 in the morning right now. 2 or 3 in the morning, right?
Yep.
It's about 2 or 3 in the morning. On our way home, through the expressway, we had to pass a couple toll booths. And I don't think any of us had a GPS available. Most of our phones were dead, weren't they? Well, we had a GPS, but whoever was on directions was really bad at it. I just want everyone to like... I want everyone to know this and accept this in your heart. If you are the passenger, if you're on the passenger seat, you are the GPS guy. No matter what. And you better make sure you're a proper GPS guy. You're supposed to say a turn is coming. You don't say turn when you're like 2 fucking feet away from the turn. Exactly. And I don't know why I'm so upset.
Because I was a GPS guy.
And because of this guy, we got lost. And we ended up going through loops around the general area of the expressway we were in. And there were a lot of tolls in this area. So we wouldn't have even known that we were going in loops, except for some reason we kept showing up at the same toll area, right? No. We showed up once, right? We showed up once, and we were like, all right, let's pay our stuff. And then for some reason, we show up at a tollway again, and we're just like, maybe this is a different one. We're just here, though. Right. Seems like it. Same loop-de-loop. But no, it's probably a different one, right? And so we keep on driving. Another 5-10 minutes pass, and another tollway. And if you've driven in the expressway, you know that there's not supposed to be this many tollways. I don't know why there's tollways, but like, there's never supposed to be that many. Not that close to each other, at least. Exactly. And for some reason, we kept showing up at a tollway, and we were just like, why are we showing up at one? Until we start recognizing the place that we're in, and we're just like, we've been here before, haven't we? Multiple times. And then... Did we even pay every single time? The first 2 times we did. And then that's when we pulled over, remember? There was an accident or a car, and we pulled over, asked for directions. And then... We did, I remember. Everyone started bitching at me for directions. But you can't blame me, like, Apple Maps or whatever is not the same as Google Maps. Camera guy, right? Not the same. Not the same at all. We switched to Steve Rogers, I think, for the GPS guy. And we had the same problem just at a different tollway.
He was an awful GPS guy and has always been an awful GPS guy. So that's why we trusted this guy to do it, which ended up in a disaster as well. So and the rest of our phones were dead. So we had no choice but to pretty much figure it out with the worst GPS guy in the world. And we ended up just going through the same tollway like 5 times.
Yeah, and then eventually we ran out of change. So I think Felix had to...
I think he just what did he just, oh, I think he went through that automatic one, you know, where like you just pass through because you supposedly have the e-pass.
I think so.
And I think that's exactly why later on he got a ticket that we never helped him pay for.
We got a ticket in the mail.
And we finally made it to the general area of our home, in which we were very happy, very tired. This is about 5 a.m. now. And remember, we mentioned that we were out of Mia's hotel around 2 or 3 a.m. So we were stuck in the expressway for like 2 hours, maybe more, weren't we? Because I remember getting home around 6 a.m. And this is the first time I ever get home this late, because I'm typically not allowed to stay out. I was never allowed to stay out that late. And I wouldn't have stayed out that late if we didn't get so lost.
Did you watch SpongeBob or something?
Did I?
I remember you telling me you stayed up the whole night because I think you had something to do.
I did stay. I stayed up for the rest of the night just watching SpongeBob. And then, for no absolute reason, I just knocked out around 9 a.m. Even though I literally just watched SpongeBob the rest of the night. So I purposely wouldn't sleep, because why the hell are you going to sleep at 6 a.m.? It's already 6.
I just went to sleep. I woke up and I'm like, well, that was the end of high school. We got graduation in a week.
Right. That was basically the end of prom. And the next day, which I mean was the same day, we wake up and we realize, wow.
High school's over.
I love my mom. And I'm glad and happy and thankful she paid for my ticket. But she should have bought herself something with those $90.
I love my suit, and that suit and that entire picture actually just came in very useful for a lot.
Oh yeah, I think the best way
Google me. You'll see my outfit actually with that.
Yeah, I think the best way to end this video is to show the one picture that I was glad we took at the end. Remember, you know that one picture where all of us have our prom suits that ended up on the yearbook?
Yeah.
That made prom worth it. That one picture right there that made it in the yearbook for no absolute reason. The boys at prom.
Yep. Unfortunately, the group is not a group anymore. We split down the middle.
Exactly. But at least the boys were at prom.
They still have a special place in my heart. I ain't got no grudges. But yeah, that was basically prom. Mia Khalifa, I hope you're watching this.
Damn. Alright guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.
See ya.